You didn't even wash your hands. Hey, I'm Austin.
And I'm Ryan.
And this is the Spring Chat,
Where we talk all things Disney.
resorts,
Shopping. Food. You can catch us at 8:30 on Thursday nights on
Facebook, YouTube.
Twitch, and now Spotify on Amplified Network.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us here at the Amplified Network. Your show will begin in just a few minutes, but first I want to go on ahead and shout out to our awesome sponsors. First, we have the Mouse Merch Box. It is an official Disney subscription box. It is $60 quarterly if you subscribe, or $70 per box. It's going to come with $120 to $150 worth of exclusive Disney apparel and merchandise, so definitely check that out. If you do decide that you want to check them out, we do have a coupon code for you. Coupon code is going to be Springs20 for 20% off of your order. Next, we have the Great Adventure Supply Company. Great Adventure Supply Company is really cool. They have a bunch of 80s and 90s themed pop culture themed Disney and theme park apparel. So if you're like me, you miss the 90s, you love that style. They recently released some new exciting additions to their store. Be sure to check them out. And we also have a coupon code for the Great Adventure Supply Company that's going to be Magic15 for 15% off of your order. So thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate you and our sponsors. So stay tuned here on the Amplified Network. Your show will be coming up soon.
What's up, everyone? How are we doing today? I hope you guys are doing awesome. Did we transition to? No worries. And I hope you guys are doing awesome today. My name is Amp, and T-Dubs, Tyler Williams, is right next to me. What's up, T-Dubs?
What's up? T-Dub in the house, here for 60 Minute Suspension with Amp the Champ. We got some cool topics, as usual.
As usual.
I really like our topics tonight. I've been thinking about them throughout the day, and I've been pretty excited, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, man, you should be.
Some of them are fun. All right, I guess all of them are pretty fun. None of them are. I mean, one's kind of, not your favorite news, but you know what I mean. Let's roll.
Let's roll, man. Let's dive right into it because we got a lot to talk about. So, as T-Dubs was saying, we got some good stories, and this one is pretty fresh. I mean, this literally happened like within 24 hours, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, about two days. I think
maybe 48 hours. Yeah. So if you don't know who Big Papi is, David Ortiz was shot Pretty incredible story, man. He was shot down in the Dominican Republic. And
a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah, it's not. Don't ever visit that. I mean, I'm not trying to be. You can visit wherever you want, but that would not be my first vacation. Anyway, so yeah, David Ortiz was shot, and he's actually going into surgery. His second surgery. Actually, no, he was in his second surgery over the weekend. Okay, so this was like last week, from my understanding. Yeah, he was shot over the weekend. Okay, so now he's in his second surgery as of Tuesday. So we'll get more information on where he is physically. But from everything that I've read, the bullet didn't hit any vital organs. The bullet did not, hit anything too bad. What they're really worried about mostly is there was a lot of blood over the liver. They had to remove some of his intestines. It's pretty wild.
Was his gallbladder too?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's a wild story, man. It is wild.
He was shot in the back through the stomach, and if you're trying to figure out if there is, yes, there is actually video of this. The club that he was at actually had a security camera, and him and his posse, I think it was his dad and a couple other people he was with, and
he was with some pretty famous people. He was with a TV show host, a Dominican Republic TV show host, and a very pretty famous singer as well. So he was there with some pretty famous people. So it was, and that's kind of been his entourage in the DR. And believe it or not, two of them, I think one of them was actually wounded, the TV show host as well.
Yeah, he was shot as well.
The same bullet.
Yeah, same bullet. So basically the bullet went through his back, through his stomach, and I think it landed in the TV host's thigh. I think that's where it was, but I could be wrong on that. It's pretty incredible. And then, yes, there is video of it right now. If you go on YouTube, you can go watch the YouTube of it and see. All you have to do is just YouTube David Ortiz shot or shooting. But also what's incredible is they caught a guy. So the public actually caught a guy. There was...
This was cool.
Yeah, so from my understanding, this is how it's read to me from CNN. Eddie Vladimir Velez Garcia and the second man arrived at a Dial nightclub Sunday on a motorcycle before one of them eventually opened fire, police said. They tried to drive away after the shooting, but the motorcycle fell to the pavement, and then a crowd actually ganged up on Garcia, handed him over to police while the second man fled. Police said the suspect was treated at the hospital because there's video of him getting literally jumped. I mean, they, like we said, people caught him, not police officers.
Right.
The actual, citizens of the city, found the guy, grabbed him, and there's video of him literally getting pummeled. I watched both videos. I watched the one of the actual shooting, and then I went on and watched this guy actually getting beat up. And I mean, it's hard to watch. I mean, if you're not into watching this stuff, if you're not into watching actual real everyday intense stuff like that, you might not want to watch this because it's pretty graphic in that nature. You don't see a lot of guts or anything. You just are watching a human being getting beat up. That's always unsettling. But
it was pretty drastic, and in fact, I was reading reports that said many people had to be held back from actually killing him. You know what I mean? Some people wanted to kill him, but then other people wanted to not kill him so that they could get information as to why he shot Big Papi. Because Big Papi is like a god in DR. People there love him to death.
Right.
And he just the same in Boston. And as we'll touch on later, you'll see how much Boston really loves him. But you just imagine if that happened in Boston, that guy wouldn't even make it. That guy would be dead. For sure. Yeah. If a bunch of Bostonians got a hold of that guy, it'd be over.
No, what were you gonna say?
What I think is crazy about that is, after handing him over to the police, there's been reports by, I think, NBC, and a couple other New York Post that said that the two people that shot him were in fact police officers. And we know that DR police can be pretty dirty. That's not anything like unknown, that's for sure. And there's a lot more to this story, but we'll get to the facts right now, and then we'll talk about speculation a little bit. Go ahead and finish it off with that.
Well, you brought up Boston, and I mean, you would automatically know for a fact that they would help in any way they could, and they did. They sent out an actual jet to his location to pick him up and bring him back home to Boston. And then I think they also sent a jet with his family over there to meet him as they went to go pick him up, which is pretty incredible. And
not only was it a jet though, but it was an air ambulance. So this was like a mid-surgery type movement, all the way from the Dominican Republic to Boston. So you have to think about it like that. Like that's intense. That's pretty crazy. Like, so the team owns like an airplane that is basically an ambulance, in the air.
Yeah.
So, they asked permission from the owners if they could, fly this air ambulance down to Dominican Republic to get Big Papi right after he's out of his first surgery to bring him back to Boston. I think it's Boston Memorial, Boston Medical, or Boston Common, or something like that. I don't know. Whatever the medical center is there.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it's an air ambulance. I didn't even know those things existed other than helicopters, like lifelines. That's crazy.
So yeah,
it's Big Papi.
It's Big Papi. That's the thing. And so he's basically been a staple in both the Dominican and, Boston itself. So, of course, they're going to take care of him. Okay, so you were talking about bringing up the rumors, and you sent me this report. It's, eye-opening. Like what I'm reading here, there's just no way it's true, And to be fair, when we say where we're getting this source from, it's Barstool Sports, not the most reliable. They kind of do what we do. Yeah.
Right, but they did cite NBC and New York Post, and I did read the New York Post version.
Okay.
And they also cited another one.
Oh, Daily Mail.
But they did admit that it was a little bit more than rumors.
So yeah, basically
none of this stuff. We're not going to get confirmed on any of this stuff because it's pretty in detail stuff. But anyways, go ahead.
So basically, the rumor is it's believed that David Ortiz was shot by two police officers hired by a drug lord who thought the former Red Sox slugger was having an affair with his wife. What? What? And to back up the police report, CNN did post this after. The club has 3 days to give its account of what happens as a police investigation. Basically, that's the issue. But after a police officer's ID card was shared on social media implicating him in the crime, the Dominican Republic National Police denied any agents were involved. And I quote, "Our institution has no link to the event which occurred in the club Dial in Venezuela Avenue."
Blah blah
right.
blah blah blah.
Yeah, going through the motions.
Yeah,
dude.
So
what a story! I mean, I
know
this is incredible.
And it's also you have to think about it. It sucks for Big Papi because this is like I'm saying it sucks if it's true, then. But maybe he got what he deserved with a gunshot. Because he has a wonderful wife and a family, and he's been known to, I'm sorry that I said that, but he's going to live. He's going to be fine. Some men will be lucky to just be shot after cheating on their wife, So he's been a staple of a good man, like as far as in the Boston Red Sox, organization, in the Boston area, as far as Dominican Republic, like he's been looked up to. He's known as a family man, but like kind of a cooler family man. But it would just suck that this would be a tainted situation, where whatever. But there's also been rumors that it could have been the guy next to him that the hit was for.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about that.
I would assume that's a more logical story. I don't think David would do this because he has, I think, 3 kids with his wife, and
Yeah.
that all love him. His wife absolutely loves him. She was by his side on the plane ride there. She hasn't left his side since. The kids haven't left his side since. So I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Like, that story to me doesn't make sense. Now, obviously, like, we would have said this about Tiger Woods, back when all that stuff went down. So anything can happen. These guys are at a whole nother level of life than we are. So they're experiencing things like 10 times what we experience. But it's pretty incredible, man. I don't know if you have any more to add on this one, but.
So I mean, just the fact that, like, I think he's just such a staple for the community. It just sucks that, that is a rumor that is tainted for him. But hopefully there'll be some clarification. I don't think there will be, because it's so personal. You don't really ever get to dive into these.
Right. Yeah. Well, all right, moving along. Today's title of the episode involves a guy that's already been on the episode before, Mr. Tyreek Hill. And the reason we titled that, honestly, is because at the time, this happened before Big Papi. So, we thought that.
Also, but I do want to say, I hope that Big Papi recovers well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I think we need to make that clear, that we wish him well and a speedy, fast recovery, and that those are just rumors that we just spat out, and we don't really know the truth on it, and we hope that he, everything is fine.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. I believe. Well, the doctors are all saying he's going to be fine. Again, no vital organs were struck, so we will see Big Papi on his feet again. Just, time to heal and get past this. And then not only that, all the legal stuff he's going to have to face after that. So, thoughts and prayers with him and his family, obviously. And again, what we said about, the drug lord and everything, it's rumors, not proven yet. It's only happened this past Sunday, so, it's still very fresh. So we'll get to the bottom of it, and as soon as we get that story, 60-minute suspension is on the case.
Yeah. By the way, while you're looking at those David Ortiz YouTubes, go ahead and check out 60-minute suspension on YouTube.
Yeah, go check us out on that, and then also check us out on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and the other one,
Google Podcasts,
and
Apple
Podcast. That's the one I was thinking of. All right. So, anyways, moving on to Tyreek Hill. Okay, so if you haven't been with us since the beginning, or you don't know where the story is, Tyreek Hill is probably one of the most explosive wide receivers in the league. Now, obviously, Antonio Brown is in a league of himself, but Tyreek Hill is as well, because he's basically a home run hitter. Is basically what he is. He's just a small little guy who finds space, and he's just a bolt of lightning. I mean, that's really the best way I can describe watching this guy play. But unfortunately, in his personal life, it's not the same. Basically, what's going on with him, he is showing up for Chiefs training camp, and I have some feelings about this. To catch you up on the story, basically, Tyreek Hill and his fiance were suspected of child abuse and neglect from Johnson County authorities. The family was actually under investigation. Criminal charges should be filed, but weren't. And there's not really an investigation into these allegations of their child. Now, there is an audio recording, which I've heard, of Tyreek Hill basically blasting about his child and his wife and saying, look, he's scared of me and you should be too. And he uses the B word. He just very aggressive in the audio recording. It just doesn't give him a good light. And then the child, he doesn't live with them. He's in a different situation right now. I haven't found out what that was, but he's not living with them. Tyreek Hill does get to see his child under surveillance, so there's people there that are watching the interaction with the two. Basically, the reason for that is because there's pictures and actual physical. You could see the bruises on his child. There's actual bruising of him, and Tyreek leads this to say that he whips his child with a belt. That was his excuse. That's what he said those bruises came from. Also, the child had a broken arm. Now you don't get that from a belt, and there's no proof of who actually broke the child's arm, and there's no proof that they actually physically broke his arm. From what I read in the report, basically they're putting it up as the child fell and broke his arm as he was trying to brace himself. Little ridiculous in my opinion, but you speed up to basically June 10th, yesterday, and as of right now, medically determined the cause by the falling, attempting to brace himself against a fall. Okay, basically, as of right now, neither of them can see the custody, and because he is a minor, they cannot publicly post any of the case openly. We probably won't ever know behind what's going on behind the scenes like we would in like an adult case, like a murder case or anything like that. Because this is a child case and he's a minor, they will not put, private information out for the public. So we won't ever honestly know until we hear word that either he gets to go home to his dad and his mom, or they're never going to let him have they're never going to let them have full custody. Or maybe they'll let one of them have full custody with the other one with the possibility of seeing him every once in a while. We don't know. There's a lot of different ways this could go. Now, where this gets frustrating is while this is happening, he gets to play football. He gets to go to training camp. And not only that, we still have no word from Roger Goodell. There is no word. There's no acknowledgement of what's going on. Like, nothing from the Chiefs organization, nothing from Roger Goodell in the NFL league. Like, literally, take 2-3 years ago, you would hear stories of stuff like this, and they're suspended the next day. They're suspended for like six weeks or a whole year, or stuff like that. But with this case, for some reason, like, there's audio recording of this man literally flipping out on his wife, and his kid is in the corner, and the kid, you can hear the kid in the background, so the kid is in the vicinity. This is not a good look. There's no other way to put it. Like, if you get, the video or the audio is out there. Like, you can find it. It's not a good look, man. And I'm really, really upset with the NFL with this one because they haven't said anything about it. They haven't done anything about it. There's no like future seeing them doing anything about it. Like the article that I'm reading, the person who wrote it is saying, in a few weeks we might see like a 4-game suspension or something like that because as of right now we can't. There's no proof of anything, so they can't do that. I'm like, no, there's a lot of proof in that audio. Like, you don't talk to your wife and your son like that, and then it gets out publicly like that. Like, it's not okay. And then, I don't know, it's just the balance scale is so uneven in the NFL because you have players like Colin Kaepernick who can't ever get on another team because he's been blacklisted by all the owners. But then you have players like Tyreek Hill, who there's audio recordings of them, and they do this stuff, and there's actual like bruising on their child that is known that they caused that, and there's no like slap on the wrist like right now. There's no slap on the wrist right now. Like right now, he should be suspended. Like not at the beginning of the season. So yeah.
I also you also have to be mad at the application of the judicial system, Yeah. This is a situation that they're dropping the ball on. They're saying it is not active. It's not an active case. Now, that's kind of crazy to me. That's crazy to you, I know. I know that's crazy to you. But the fact, okay, we expect the NFL to fuck up. We always expect that to happen. They're going to constantly do it. They suck at making judgments. They suck at disciplining themselves. They suck at doing the right thing. But we don't often expect for our law to not take effect when it's so obvious like this. You can't. Why are they together? Who's helping them?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
They're working to get back together. This isn't the first physical contact. This isn't the first time. He has been in front of a judge before because of their relationship. He has served probation or whatever, what have you.
Yeah.
While making millions, while being drafted by the NFL.
Yeah.
Why is she still there? She can make I guess because she's
Fear.
not his. I mean, I guess not. I'm not trying. Like, if she leaves, does she get anything?
Well,
she'll get
it's
child.
her fiance.
She'll get child
They're not
support.
even married yet. I think
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think she gets anything. Yeah, because legally they're not. There's no legal connection. It's like saying that someone's a fiance. That's just that's just like a status. That's just like hey, check out what we're doing in like a year from now, and then you guys actually sign the contract to make that legal. But until then.
And not only that, weren't they engaged when he was drafted years ago? Like, this thing isn't moving.
It's not going anywhere.
What's you're just hating life,
It's
and you're
ridiculous.
making your child's life even worse.
Yeah, you're dragging your child into the. That's what pisses me off about this more than anything. And to give you clarification, this is happening in the state of Kansas. Like, this isn't like their hometown or like some other state. This is physically happening in Kansas State territory. Like, the Chiefs, so you can only imagine how many like, if you don't know who a Kansas City fan is, like, they are huge fans, massive, undeniable fans. Okay, so I'm not trying to call conspiracy theory here, but I am saying I am saying a little something. Okay, I'm not saying that everyone's in on it. I'm not saying anything else, but I will say this: Tyreek Hill is that important that people would tweak some laws. He's that important to the team. He's that fun to watch. I will say that. I'm not scared to say that. This is one of those things where it's like, because you can't prove that they did, which they can. Like, they even said that they beat their kid with a belt, and then even in the article it talks about them going to like actual counseling to like learn how to parent and stuff like that. Come on, man. Like, you're basically trying to give these, I'm not going to call them that, but really mean people a child. You're trying to give these people a child. You're trying to rehabilitate two grown parents. You're trying to rehabilitate them to teach them how to be a parent. Like, that's you don't give them a child. You don't say, hey, you passed the test, here you go, now you get a like, that's not how life works.
Okay, so and also being married is a civil union, and that takes place you're legally together. You have to get a license. Yeah. Who makes that call? Does anybody look at this history? Are we like they're trying to reunite this whole family? No, this is the one family I say break apart.
Yeah.
I mean,
no.
And so just so you know, I believe that their child is staying with Crystal's mother, so his grandmother. So just like Tyreek Hill and
that's
Crystal's
right.
child is staying with their grandmother in this time that. So and Tyreek Hill has visitation.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill does.
So
his wife or his fiance doesn't.
His fiance doesn't. That's a good sign that at least somebody has visitation.
I mean, it's a good sign, but
I'm not. I mean, but are you going to rule out the fact that maybe all of this might be made up?
They have to prove to me that's made up. Like, there has to be
she might be like plotting.
Maybe, but
so is it worth? So I mean, every game he misses his money missed. He doesn't get that money back. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't get
I
that
understand
time
that.
back.
But also,
he doesn't get that opportunity again. He doesn't.
But he did verbally say that he hits his kid with a belt, and then in the audio recordings, he said, that boy better be as scared as me as you should be as me, or that boy's as scared of me that you should be as scared. Like, right in front of his kid, man. Like,
I hear you,
and saying it very aggressively, like.
Yeah,
dude,
I hear you.
like, that's a 7-year-old kid.
I didn't listen to the audio. He's 7.
He's like 7 or like, I don't even think he's 7.
For some reason, I thought he was 3.
He might be younger than 7, yeah. But he can talk though, because the kid because the kid is in the background saying like, I'm scared of daddy, like I don't want to go around daddy, like this kid's truly terrified.
I think he's
they need really good counseling. That's all I can say. Like, there's,
the kid, absolutely, he's gonna need it. You know, this is traumatic.
This is crazy, man. All right, but
does he play?
I mean, I'm not Roger Goodell, so
I'm pretty sure he's coming to minicamp.
I would say this. I would drop a 4-game suspension on him right now. I would drop a 4-game suspension on him right now, just so I save face.
I don't know.
Because you have
the add to that.
Because you have proof of the audio recording, you have proof of him actually saying that he hits his kid, and you have the images of the child, like bruises and stuff. I mean, they suspended Adrian Peterson for hitting his kid with a switch and leaving like really bad welts on him. You know what I mean? And Adrian Peterson said the same thing. He said, "This is how I was disciplined. This is how I disciplined my child." You know,
was Adrian Peterson suspended over that though?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I think so. Right? I think so. All right. Anyways, we're getting. At the end of the day, I would suspend him. That's just me. I'm getting a little personal with it, but I can't imagine ever hitting your kid like that small with a belt. You're an athletically grown man. Like you bench press and curl and do all these weightlifting things to become peak performance guy, and to take a belt, like a leather strap belt, and hit a 3-year-old. Like, I wouldn't say he probably, I don't know. Maybe he hits him as hard as he can. Maybe I don't know. We're not in that room. We don't know. We just know that he does physically hit his child with a belt. No offense, man. An open palm butt slap would hurt. Like now you add in an actual weapon. Like, dude, chill out, man. Like, I just don't see it. I don't see the necessary. It's not necessary. It's a 3-year-old kid. He's gonna like, he's a kid. Like, he's a little kid. What do you have to beat a little kid for? Because he cries too much? Like, I don't know, man. Whatever. I gotta move on because I'm gonna.
But does he play? Does he
no.
play?
I mean,
you don't think he plays?
Well,
I'm just saying prediction, not how you feel.
I think he plays week 1. I think he plays week 1. Does
he play 50% of the games this year?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He'll play more than 50. Yeah. He'll end up playing. At worst, it'll be a 4-game suspension. At worst, you know. Okay. What I'm shocked about though, again, and I've already said this point, I'm just really shocked that Roger hasn't said anything about it. Like, he really hasn't. He hasn't said one word about it. And that's what's blown my mind a little bit, because it's like, he's one of your top fantasy football players. Like, fantasy football is huge in the NFL. It's huge for their money, you know, their pocketbooks, their marketers, their advertisers. So I just don't understand why it hasn't even been brought up. Like, no one has talked about this. Not even the players' union. No one from the players' union has said anything about this. No other players have said anything about this. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's getting swept under the rug a little bit, and it's really pissing me off that no one is acknowledging this. But when Adrian Peterson hit his kid, everyone talked about that. You know,
right? You're right. You're right, and you were right about Adrian Peterson being suspended. He was suspended for that.
It's just ridiculous. Anyways, moving on. We got to move on because I can go the whole show, and we got some good stories. So Tyler, you brought this one. You sent me the text on this one. This one's really good. So LeBron James actually started saying some stuff last week. And if you haven't been with the NBA Finals, it's the Toronto Raptors versus the Golden State Warriors, which, side note, just FYI, prayers and condolences to Kevin Durant. Hope he has a speedy recovery. If you didn't see that, he had a nasty injury in his first game back. Literally his first game back from injury, he comes out and he hurts his Achilles heel. Like,
he came back too soon. He tried to get out there with his bros. I think Dwayne Wade had a tweet that pretty much summed it up.
Yeah.
You know, he just wanted to get out there and fight with his brothers for a championship, and it was just too early. And he probably shouldn't even played the rest of the finals. You know, but
yeah,
they felt like they needed him, and I think they did need him.
I think they did. I mean, Toronto's playing their hearts out right now.
Dude, Toronto wants it.
Yeah. which is great. I mean, I would love to see Toronto win it. I mean, Golden State, they're fun to watch too, but
we'll touch on Toronto's fans if we have a little bit of time left. But
so anyways,
I don't know if you heard about that.
So to keep it moving though, so what happened in Game 3 is basically Kyle Lowry. Am I saying it right? Lowry.
Kyle Lowry.
Lowry. He is the point guard for the Toronto Raptors. He basically did he get pushed into the stands? Like, was that when
he was diving for a ball?
Okay, so
that was going out of bounds.
He was diving,
tried to like catch it and throw it back in.
Yep,
kind of
and he ended up falling on Mark Stevenson's. I don't know if it's his wife or his girlfriend or just his mistress. But he fell on this girl that was 2 seats over from Mark Stevens, and it's important to know Mark Stevens' name because in retaliation for Kyle making one hell of a play, he dives into the crowd like you were saying. He tries to get the ball, but in doing so, he falls on a fan, and it looked like it was a woman, and literally like 2 seats over is Mark Stevens still sitting in his chair, hasn't moved, wasn't scared, didn't get freaked out or anything. He's literally just sitting in his chair. I watched this part of the video. And as Kyle's kind of like hunched over the chairs, Mark is a fan. Like, I'll give you that much for right now. Mark is a fan watching the game, very front row of the game, looks over at Kyle as he's kind of hunched over in the chairs, takes out his hand just like this and does this. Like, literally pushes him to let him know he was there. Like, it wasn't like a strong push, or like it wasn't a push that pushed him over the chair, or like, really could have done any damage. It was just like one of those pushes where it was like, yo, you're in my space. Like, it was one of those, like, watch yourself. It was one of those pushes. It wasn't like I'm trying to get you out of the game, I'm trying to kick you out. Now, I'm not saying it in that way to defend Mark at all. Like, Mark is 100% the villain in this story. But I'm just trying to give you...
But at the same time, it was completely disrespectful and out of line.
Oh, absolutely, yeah,
sorry,
absolutely. It's really just to give you like an idea of what this push was. And so, anyways, Kyle obviously turns back, starts yelling at him like, "What are you doing?" We don't know what was said. And then the referees get involved, and from there, the referees eject Mark Stevens. That I think they actually went back, replayed what actually happened. You physically see him reaching a full chair length over, like this is like arm's length. He does this, push his whole body into the push to push Kyle to let him know he's there. Okay, couple things. Yeah. One, what a fucking idiot. Okay, yeah. What an idiot. Like, if you go back and watch this video, this is like not a middle-aged man. This is like an above middle-aged man. Like, you've kind of passed that middle-age range, okay?
Yeah.
He's got a receding hairline. I'm going to make fun of this guy. I don't care, okay? He's got a receding hairline, and he's a little chubby. Like, he's not like fat, but he's like over middle-aged fat, like that point of your life where you just kind of like got that beer belly that you can't get rid of. He's got one of those, okay? I'm ripping into this guy because who the fuck does this guy think he is to put his hand on a professional athlete who's playing in a finals? Okay, like, dude, what are you doing? This guy literally, like, Kyle, his arm span literally could have been another chair over, and he could have knocked this guy out. Like, right. If Kyle didn't care about his career, if Kyle didn't want, Kyle in that moment could have just been like, I'm done. Like, nope. Whatever, I made my millions. I'm good. Like, he could have easily just been like, this is my retirement punch. Like, right. Easily. Who does this guy think he is? Boom, bro.
No. Like, I really, like, when I saw it, I was like, that is straight up disrespectful. Like, of course, it wasn't like anything that hurt Lowry. It was just like you wanted to be like a little douche right there. That literally was your goal. Like, I'm gonna be a douche.
Yeah, that was
like, it. Like, come on, it's stupid. Don't do that. Don't ever touch the players. Don't ever touch the referees. Don't ever touch the coach. Don't ever touch the announcers. Don't touch anybody. Period.
Like, it's a privilege to be in that stadium in those moments. You know what I mean? Like,
and courtside.
Yeah, and courtside nonetheless. Okay,
You
so
should feel great that you're a part of the play.
yeah,
You know,
like you made it on screen.
If nobody's hurt, nobody like that's. You should feel like it's. Oh man, that's cool. I was part of the action. Like I touched the basketball. Like whatever. You know. So the player jumped into my lap. Whatever. You know.
Right, yeah.
All that stuff.
Honestly, I would have been like, "This is cool as shit." Like, holy shit, this is so cool.
Oh shit! Dwight Lowry or LeBron James kicked my beer out of my hand. Holy shit!
Oh my god, there's a moment in my life I'll never forget. Right? Okay, so so if we stop the story there, right? If we just stop the story there, it would have been an okay story. You know, it'd have been like, stupid fan, drunk fan, just pushing. It gets better. It gets so much better. This guy is a minority owner of the Golden State Warriors. Mark Stevens is a minority owner of the Golden State Warriors. So, Golden State Warriors posted a press release right after the game saying, we apologize for his actions. Like, they were just totally ridiculous. Like, he should have never been a part of this, blah, 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 blah. And we apologize along with Mark. Mark never apologized. They apologized for Mark. I just want to clarify that. He did not apologize. They apologized for him. Okay. After that, it was stated that he was banned for the rest of this season. Which we're in the finals. There is no more season.
There's a max 2 more games left.
2 more home games, and then whatever the away games are.
At the time, there was 3 games.
So exactly. Okay, so the king. This is what makes LeBron James so badass. Okay, this is level. This is just badassery, right? And honestly, Tyler, if you want to share this one, I kind of laid it out, but if you want to go from the player route, that'd be great.
You mean? What do you mean?
Like what LeBron says. You can kind of paraphrase what he says, but
I mean, I don't really have it out in front of me, but he pretty much said, if you have it out in front of you, you can read it. I don't have it out in front of me.
All right, so he writes this whole paragraph. I'm just going to paraphrase it, but he starts out the sentence so perfect. He goes, "There's absolutely no place in our beautiful game for that at all." And he's referencing the push from the fan or the minority owner to a player. He's referencing that and saying no place in our beautiful game, in all caps, for that at all. He said there's so many issues here. When you sit courtside, you absolutely know what's coming with being on the floor. If you don't know, it's on the back of the ticket itself, which states the guidelines. But as a fan, more importantly, part owner of the Warriors, knew exactly what he was doing, which was uncalled for. He knew the rules more than just the average person sitting watching the game. What an awesome statement that was. You own the Warriors, and you cannot do that. Maybe if you were a drunk fan and you had you've never been to a basketball game before and you're just in the moment and adrenaline's rushing and you're really, really drunk and high and you're like, this is going to be cool. And you touch the player. Okay. That would make sense. But you are an owner of a basketball team and you cannot touch the player, let alone, he's going to jack you up like that.
It's a no-no.
So anyways, what if Kyle Lowry, he comes out and he says, what if Kyle Lowry actually hit him back? What if he actually hit him back? This guy would have gone crazy and called the cops and tried to send him to jail or, at the very least, get him suspended for the rest of his life from the NFL. He makes so many good points, but this guy here only gets 2-game suspension? What the fuck is that?
I know. And, he also got fined $500K, which is a lot, but also, it's still, I think he should give up his ownership of the team. That's bad.
That's really bad.
You are a owner. You are a leader of the entire. You lead the entire organization. Yeah. You're setting the tone for everything. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
It's just crazy.
Who thought?
Who tries to pick a fight with someone twice their size and more athletic and younger than them? That blows my mind.
That was just sheerly out of like thought to action. Like he didn't even think about
No,
not doing it.
he didn't even think about
it. He probably said, "Huh, it'd be funny if I push Dwight Lowry right now, or excuse me, why do I keep calling Dwight?
That's
Kyle Lowry right now. It would be funny if I pushed him."
Yeah.
And then he actually did it. And then he's like, "Oh shit!
Oh shit!
I actually I thought about it, and then it happened." Fuck.
Yeah, what an idiot!
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Yeah, what were we gonna say?
What do you think? What do you think about this in an overall situation? The players being able to, or the fans being so close to the court, and just them being able, just literally being able to touch the players. At sometimes having to dive into the fans. They can't help it. It's part of the game. They're gonna go all out. I respect the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Like I think it's cool as shit, man. And it's not safe for them. It's not safe for the people either. They dive in there knowing they're landing on metal chairs and stuff that fold up, and and who knows what's in somebody's hand.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, nobody's carrying around knives, I would hope, into the arena or got in with knives or anything like that. But God forbid it's something sharp per se. But there's a lot that goes on. Interactions between players and fans, interactions between celebrities and players.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes on courtside of these NBA basketball games. And I say that some of it is pretty entertaining. Drake is entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I think about when we think of like fan interaction with NBA players, and I know you remember this, when Jermaine O'Neal got in that like fist fight.
Ron Artest.
Ron Artest, that's what it was. Almost
the rumble in the it was like the rumble in the palace because it was in Detroit.
Dude, that was crazy. If you don't know what we're talking about, or if you've never seen it, YouTube Ron Artest fight in the palace or rumble in the palace. Dude, one of the craziest situations you'll ever see.
Intense. I would say, like, I was thinking about, like, when we were thinking about this topic, I was like, I'll just see if I can YouTube top 10 like fan interactions with NBA players, like courtside or whatever. And I didn't have time to do it. I bet it's out there, but I guarantee that's number one. And while you're at YouTube, go ahead and check out 60 Minute Suspension.
Check out 60 Minute Suspension on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. We're on iPodcasts, and then also Google Podcasts. Check us all out.
I enjoy it myself on Spotify.
See, and I'm an iPodcast guy. I like the podcasts on iPhone. Okay, so Tyler, I'm excited about this story because I didn't tell you about this. This is totally Tyler. I just want to point out, Tyler has no idea. This is about
out of the blue.
He has no idea.
Is this a new story, or are we still talking?
No, this is totally like you had no idea this was coming. Like,
is this a new story about the courtside stuff?
No. This is different.
Okay, well, before we jump into that, can I just say,
yeah.
Like, sometimes that stuff can get really ugly, and I think that the NBA needs to control it soon. Because for instance,
what's the counter to that? What's the proposal? Do you have one?
I mean, maybe back it up. These are all folded chairs. They're not like, this is not part of the, folded chairs on risers. Right. This is not part of the arena. These are temporary seats added in there. It's all for show. It's a great thing, but when you have players like Russell Westbrook being accused of like saying to a man's wife, like, I'm gonna F you up too. Or like a little kid touching Russell Westbrook, and it's always with Russell Westbrook. Yeah, well, it's easy to get in his head. It's easy to get in his head. He really is. It's easy to get in his head all the time. It really is. But when a kid touches him, and he's like got to defend himself, kind of in front of a kid, and it happens to LeBron all the time too. It's always the biggest. It's always the biggest stars. But anyways, I think the NBA really needs to get a hold of it before it before it gets out of hand.
Yeah.
It has another rumble in the palace, and people. It's easy to throw stuff.
It's so easy.
It's easy to throw anything.
I mean, just look at Bob Knight.
Just start anything. Right, he threw a whole chair across the court.
Yeah. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to YouTube. Bob Knight throwing a chair. Yeah. It's one of the greatest videos you'll ever see in your life. All right, cool. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Maybe push the chairs back. You can't really put a barrier up because then you'd have players breaking necks. So can't do that. Maybe
make it the fine. Maybe make it a if you touch the players, you're banned for life.
Yeah.
Or if you throw anything, you're banned for. Usually that's how it works. Anyways, You're banned for life. But there's got to be something more to it. There's got to be. Maybe they press charges.
I was gonna say that.
Maybe
You might as well
charge.
like give
You
the
know?
players an opportunity to press charges. You know, like, look, we gotta
Yeah.
protect ourselves. We're not just animals. And I know you hear players say that a lot. You know, we're not animals. We're not a circus show. Like, at the end of the day, you are entertainment. You are playing for money. You know, people are paying to watch you. So yes, in a sense, you are a show, but you are also a human being.
And they are.
So
Yeah, and they're very vulnerable.
yeah,
too.
they're very
like
vulnerable.
they're playing
Yeah.
a game.
Yeah.
They're not paying attention to what's going on.
Yeah, they're
around
purely
them. They're playing a
focused.
game.
Yeah.
They're just anything could happen to them. Anyways,
Right.
that's all I had to say about that. Let's hear the surprise.
All right, Tyler. I'm sure you've heard this story already, but
I'm excited.
I kind of came across this while I was doing my prep, like literally 30 minutes before the show, and this is one of the most ridiculous stories I have read in probably the last 10 years of my life. Like, this is just so funny. It's so funny, and I can't believe it. Actually, I can kind of believe it because from this guy. Okay, this is a sports story only because Dana White is tagged in it. It's the only reason it's a
Dana
sports
White.
story. That's the only reason.
Of course, it's got something to do with
If
Dana
it
White.
wasn't,
Is there a horse? Is there a horse involved?
there's no horse.
There's got to be a
There's
horse.
no horse. Okay, but
Any sort of animal.
no.
Any sort of animal.
Well, he might be an animal. I'm not sure. It's not proven that he's full human.
All right, cool.
It's between a pop star and a movie star. Okay. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Let me read this out to
Love
you because this is exactly how it was written on Twitter. I want to challenge Tom Cruise to fight in the octagon. Tom, if you don't take this fight, you're scared, and you will never live it down. Who's willing to put on the fight? ? At Dana White ? Posted June 9th, 2019. The culprit of this tweet, Justin Bieber.
Oh my
Justin
God. Thrown out
Bieber
there.
challenging
Thrown out there.
Tom Cruise to an octagon fight. Official.
Who do you got? Who do you got, man? Who you
Tom
taking?
Cruise, 100%.
Are you taking the old wily?
I'm
Tom
taking
Cruise?
Maverick, bro.
You taking?
I'm taking
the
Ethan
young-
Hunt.
He's not.
Ethan Hunt and Maverick.
He's not.
What were you
my
saying?
gosh.
Sorry. Ethan
No,
Hunt
no,
and
no, I
Maverick.
was-
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You-
It would be fucking Dana White to put this on. Of course, Dana White would do some shit like that. I saw this earlier and I laughed my ass off. I had a good chuckle at work, I don't know why I didn't think to talk about it tonight.
Oh, this is great, man.
That's-
So,
yeah. So anyways, what do you think that Tom Cruise had to say? At some celebrity party, sipping on some bougie ass champagne. What do you think he had to say about Justin Bieber to somebody? It
had to get back to Justin Bieber. Yeah, exactly.
Justin was like, "What do you think? What do you think he said?" What do you
I
think he
guarantee
said?
you this is what he said.
Oh wait, hold on. I also want to say, why is your Ben Roethlisberger voice and your Justin Bieber voice the same?
It's kind of like my idiot voice. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's just your
Yeah, it's like my idiot voice.
Got
Okay, so this is what Tom
So what
Cruise
do you
said
think
at a
Tom
party,
Cruise-
and realistically, it was probably at a sociology party or Scientology party. Yeah.
Scientology. Yeah.
So Tom Cruise said this. Someone said, "Hey, did you hear that new hot track from Justin Bieber?" And Tom Cruise said, "What's a Justin Bieber?" And I guarantee you, that's what got back to Justin Bieber.
That actually makes sense. I totally pictured Tom Cruise with that stupid face on when he's like making that.
What's
a
What's
Justin
Justin Bieber?
Yeah.
Okay, to give
Did
you
you
some
say
stats here, because it's an octagon fight, you need stats. Tom Cruise is 56 years old. Tyler, do you know how old Justin Bieber is?
I'm gonna say 23.
Ooh, 25. Yeah. That's all the stats I got on that because they don't fight. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
What do they do?
What?
Tom Cruise does his own stunts. Though.
Exactly. He does his own stunts.
and he does a lot of action movies. I think Bieber's fucking with the wrong one. I gotta say, dude. Cruise has got the hand.
Oh, there's more to the story. Conor McGregor offered to host.
Oh yeah.
Offered to host this
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah. I saw that.
Wow.
Good move, McGregor.
Yeah. Way to stay in the public's eye there, buddy. This is incredible. These are the type of stories of why we exist. It's for stories like this. So yeah, that's in your world. That's going.
I'm taking Cruz. I'm taking
Dude,
Cruz.
what?
For sure.
What? Are you serious? Were you even debating it?
I'm taking Cruz.
Were you even debating
Cruz
it?
said that. Cruz said that shit, and he knew it would. He knew it would get back to Bieber. He said, "Bieber's a bitch." Tell him. Tell him I said it. Tell his Canadian ass I said it. Isn't Tom Cruise?
Have you seen the picture of Justin Bieber lately? I think he has dreads.
He's looking like Shaggy.
Like
man.
he looks like he never put down like a blunt. Like he never puts it down. Like that's what he looks like. Like it's literally in his hand, and he has an assistant. Like he has a blunt assistant. Like he has a personal.
That's fantastic.
Blunt guy.
That's fantastic. Did you know that Rick Ross actually, or it's either Rick Ross or 2 Chainz, actually has a person that he pays $50,000 a year to roll his blunts?
What? Are you serious? That's great.
Yes, I know.
You know those blunts are perfect. They have to be. Like
they fucking better be.
Get paid $50,000 to do that? It's incredible.
Jeez.
I did not know that. That's crazy.
I have to look up actually who it is. I feel like it's 2 Chainz.
Okay, so we have 2 more stories we got to get through, and this is the perfect amount of time to do it because this next story, it's important. You should know it, especially if you're a fan of the show. Hard Knocks. If you don't know what it is, it's an HBO miniseries. They basically go to an NFL team's training camp, and I mean, it's in-depth documentary style, like in the life of these players, and it's really cool, man. Like last year they did the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns was cool because they had a lot going on last season. And I mean, they followed like third string tight ends. They follow like, you know, the second string offensive lineman who's trying to feed his family, but, you know, has to, you know, make the team.
All the favorite undrafted free agents.
I mean, it's incredible, dude.
It's a lot of fun. It's a great.
If you've never watched it, please watch it. Make sure. I mean, there's some old YouTube videos of the original with the Jaguars, like when they did the Jaguars. It wasn't Hard Knocks at that point. It was like I think it was named something else, and then they changed it to Hard Knocks. But it was. I mean, there's some good footage of this. If you've never watched it, do yourself a favor. Find a way to watch Hard Knocks, man. It is. Like, even if you don't like sports, like, just the drama in these guys' lives, like, these are their real lives, you know, and you're watching them chasing their dreams or, you know, getting cut. Oh, man, like, episode 2 is always my favorite. Cuts. That's always,
man, it's like, I mean, you really sound like a dick right
now, but it's so dramatic. So
I really love when people's lives get, you know, just snatched out.
Destroyed. Yeah, destroy that. Get cut.
I really love when the coach says you're gonna land somewhere.
Yeah, that's my favorite too.
Just not here.
That's my favorite. They'll literally bring him into the office and they'll be like, "All right, look, man. I'm just going to be straightforward with you. You're a great player, phenomenal athlete. You got great hands, good speed, and we're going to cut you." Like, what?
Yeah. But what? I gotta say, you put some good things out on tape out there. You look good on the field, but we're just gonna go in a different direction.
We're just gonna go in a different direction.
You're gonna land on your feet. Keep working. Keep working.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah. Okay.
To give you perspective, though, Tyler, you probably didn't know this. I know I didn't know this. It's a 30-person NFL Films crew that goes to these training camps. So if you can envision the training camp itself, you have, 20 plus coaches there, 10 to 20 personnel, that's athletic trainers, trainers in general. And then you have, on top of that, you have over 85 players alone trying to, fit in this small locker room that's going to get knocked down to 50, 52, 53.
53.
So you have all that crammed into this tight space for at least a month, okay? And then you add in a 30-person film crew on top of that with cameras, with microphones, with directors and producers in the corner talking and whispering in these meetings.
Right.
I mean, dude, I don't know if you've heard, but there's not a lot of good reviews when it comes to these filming sessions of these things.
Oh, They hate
Yeah.
it, man. The coaches hate it. The players don't really care too much about it. I'm sure some of the rookies and undrafted free agents and people trying out probably don't like it, but I know the coaches hate it. And I remember when they 2 years ago when the Jags were good. The preseason before that, the Tampa Bay Bucks had Hard Knocks,
Yeah.
and they came to Jacksonville for a practice, and they brought Hard Knocks with them. And I went to a training camp, and I remember seeing like all the cameras out there, and I was like, man, this is distracting. They're like you're saying, there's a ton.
And
There's
man,
a ton.
like when we're saying like they're on the field, I mean they're on the sidelines, they're in these training rooms,
In the huddles.
right? They're in the huddles, and if you watch the documentary, these cameras are in their faces. So I mean, if you can envision like a coach trying to give a prep talk or like like some type of talk, and the producers talk to the coaches and the players and say, hey, please don't look into the camera. Don't look at the camera. But when you put a camera in front of a non-actor's face, it's very awkward, because you got to remember,
Right.
like these players, these coaches, they're not actors. They're not people who, want that. They don't want a camera in their face, every day. They're not portraying a character. They're being themselves, and this is going to be televised. And to give you perspective, for the past 13 seasons, one episode averages 3.9 million viewers over the past 4 seasons. Sorry, I worded that weird. But for every episode that airs for the past 4 seasons, 3.9 million viewers watch it. It's pretty. That's a huge number of people that are
That's a lot,
that are
yeah.
being put into your life.
Yeah, especially for HBO.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
not only that, like there's I think the Raiders are perfect for this. They're perfect
great.
for it.
Yeah, you got that.
Think about it. You got Gruden, Antonio Brown, 3 first-round rookies. Like that's a measure for success. A whole new system. Still trying to teach players what to do. You got the Derek Carr situation. Is it good? Is he
Right.
not? How's it going to gel with Antonio Brown? What are you looking forward to in this Hard Knocks?
I want to see how Antonio Brown handles himself with all these cameras around.
Oh God, he's going to be such a diva. bro.
That's the thing.
He's going to be.
That's the
such
thing.
a
Is he
diva.
going to be a diva? Like, is he going to open up more about the Juju incident? Because that's going to get brought up. There's a lot of moments in that documentary where, like, when they're not playing, there's a lot of downtime, and these players like end up.
There'll be like funny moments, I think.
Oh yeah, there'll be funny moments, but then like you got these moments where like the players like open up about their lives, randomly. They have a camera there and they're talking to their friends or whatever, and they just start talking shit or whatever.
They start playing that little music, like
Yeah. The dramatic
and
stuff.
then all of a sudden here comes
So I mean, I do want to see what how he's going to react to everything, and if he's going to grow up from it. The other thing, John Gruden. I will be shocked if they have a losing season. He's still their head coach. I'm going to be shocked. Like
He's on a 10-year deal, bro.
but they can cut him. They can get rid of him. It's called firing.
Of course, but this is a long plan. He's blowing up the roster. He got rid of Khalil Mack, Amari Cooper.
Idiot.
It's a complete rehaul. He traded all those so that he could have these 3 first-round picks that he's bringing in this year. That's what I'm interested to see. That's what I'm looking forward to in this Hard Knocks.
guys coming
he's
in.
getting to know. I don't know. I don't know anything about him. The most I know is Jacobs from Alabama. The other guy's Cleveland Farrell, and then the other guy I can't even remember who the other guy
Yeah.
is. But yeah, I'm looking forward. Who took they took Cleveland Farrell's like in the top 5.
Wow.
That's crazy. I wasn't expecting it, and honestly, I'm trying to figure out what John Gruden saw. So I'm looking forward to that, and I think Jacobs can be a good running back. So I'm looking forward to watching him.
And if you're a person who likes awards, or like if awards affect your reason for watching stuff, Hard Knocks has received 18 sports Emmys. That's a lot.
That's dope.
Especially for a show that's been around for 13 seasons. It's essentially an award point to an episode. Like, it's quite a lot. So anyways, yeah, make sure you check it out. Get involved with that. Okay, we do have a feel-good story today. I'm excited about it because...
I'll go ahead and pitch it as the Gator fan here, because you know what, I'm pretty excited about it too. I really like what's going on with FSU baseball. They're really kicking butt. They're in the World Series. They have dominated so far in the postseason. Any place that they've been, they've taken over. They had kind of a rough season, and nobody predicted this from the Noles. Another notable thing from the Noles is that this is Mike Martin's last year. He's been 40 years with FSU. That's amazing.
40 years.
40 years of above 500 baseball. I believe it's 40 years of winning 40 games or more, which is insane. And he won Coach of the Year this year. He deserves everything. I think he deserves to win it. They have a really tough hill to climb. They got to play Arkansas, which is probably the second favorite to Vanderbilt, and there's also Texas, which is also a College World Series powerhouse. So they have a big road in front of them. But I believe in FSU, and I think they can do it, and I hope they do. And that's who I'm rooting for is Florida State and Mike Martin, and for them to close it out. So,
yeah,
what do you think,
to clarify some of your stats, he's been with Florida State since 1980. 40 years. He swept LSU in the Super Regionals. The coach known as 11 has 2,028 wins, easily the most all time. He has 506 regular season ACC wins and the most in conference in history. He owns the highest winning percentage among all active coaches. In all 40 seasons, FSU has won at least 40 games and made the postseason. The next longest postseason streak is only 14 years, which is by Vanderbilt.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's so cool, man.
The Noles have made the College World Series 17 times. So,
yeah. How many championships do they have?
So he won Coach of the Year. Excellent guy. Seriously, he's going to go down.
Great guy.
He's going to go down as one of the greats.
He's like Bobby Bowden-esque.
Yeah, he just didn't. Yeah, he just
in his department. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, he said, even though he didn't win championships, he's like Dan Marino of old baseball. College baseball.
I mean, dude, staying anywhere for 40 years, like in sports,
that's incredible.
In sports, it's just unheard of. That's incredible. Like that's so unheard of. I mean, and then 40 seasons.
He's put some big guys into the majors too.
And 40 seasons
big guys
going to the postseason. I mean, granted, he didn't win a lot of championships, but to go to the postseason 40 times,
he didn't win any.
But to go to the postseason 40 times in a row, it's pretty awesome, man. So yeah.
Well, the Gators won it all last year. We're looking for FSU to win it this year, even though the Gators swept FSU the entire season.
I didn't even know the Gators were
I just want to say this. Yeah, they're still a thing.
All right.
They're around.
Well, anyways, thank you guys so much. Again, like we've been saying throughout the episode, make sure you check us out. We are on podcast audio form. Go to Spotify. Go to iTunes Podcast. Go to Google Podcasts. Man, go check out old episodes, man. We got so much good content now. We just got so much going on for us. What episode are we on now? Episode 8? We're on episode 8. We're almost a decade in.
Flying by. I don't know if that's how that works.
I think it's close enough. It's close enough. Anyways, make sure you download us, guys. Make sure you check us out on our old episodes. And listen, if you got any suggestions, if you ever come across a story, literally reach out to us on all our social media platforms. Amplified Network. Go to Facebook. We're on YouTube. You can watch our old videos there. We're on Twitch if you want to get really involved with us with the video side of things. But let us know how you feel. And we're on Instagram. Send us some photos of just sports stuff going on, and let us know what you think or if you want us to talk about stories. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. T-Dubs, last thoughts.
Yo, thank you all for coming in. It's been great. We had some good topics today. I really love talking about all of them. Check me out on theturfsports.com. I'm a writer for them. You can find a lot of my content. A lot of my colleagues are also have dropped some very deep, thoughtful content with sports as well. So if you want to check that out, again, my name is Tyler Williams. Theturfsports.com. You can also check us out. Like Am said, download us on YouTube. Go check us out on Spotify. Audio is big. I audio because it's easy. You can just put it in your pocket and then walk along and listen. You can find that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can even do YouTube, like we were saying earlier. Amp said Twitch. Just check us out there, 60 Minute Suspension, on Amplified Networks. Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys again. We will see you guys next week. Bye.
Peace.